A rivalry that dates back over a century takes center stage on this toasty fall afternoon. The Presbyterian Blue Hose are in the midst of one of their best seasons in program history, and they're looking to do something no one on this roster has ever done: beat Davidson. Meanwhile, the Wildcats are hunting for an upset win to spark a late-season turnaround. It's the battle of the 1919 Cup, the Carolina Border Clash, and it's right here on ESPN+. We welcome you inside Davidson College Stadium. What a beautiful November afternoon this is. John Gross with you with our entire fantastic crew for this rivalry matchup. Presbyterian in the midst of one of the best seasons in program history. The 23rd ranked Blue Hose at 8-1 on the year, 4-1 in conference play. They're seeking their first battle for the 1919 Cup win since the trophy was installed in this rivalry back in 2021. Again, no one on this Presbyterian team has ever defeated the Wildcats, but this is a different Presbyterian squad than what we've seen in years past. Their only loss came against Dayton 2 weeks ago. They feature wins against number 11 Mercer, a Furman team that was receiving votes at the time. They are next level and very much in the hunt for a PFL title and even potentially a FCS playoff at large spot. Meanwhile, for Davidson, Wildcats at 1-8 on the season, 0-5 in conference play, trying to turn the tides on the season under first-year head coach Saj Thakar. And what an opportunity to do that tonight against a rival and against a ranked opponent. And it's the first time Davidson is hosting a ranked team since November 8th, 1941, when Davidson welcomed fourth-ranked Duke. A Duke side that actually ended up playing in the Rose Bowl in Durham, North Carolina. Was one of just 2 times ever outside of the COVID season that the Rose Bowl was not played in Pasadena. Christos Zoumakis has it teed up and will send this deep for the Wildcats. It is a short kick and a fair catch called at the 33-yard line, and that's where this Presbyterian offense will set up shop. And what an offense it is, though. There is Colin Hurst. You see number 8 on your screen making his way off the field. He will not be starting this matchup. We received word just minutes before kickoff that it's Ty Engelhardt who will be the starting QB today. The redshirt junior from Florida, the son of head coach Steve Engelhardt. He's attempted just 18 passes this season, has also ran it 15 times. It's his first start of the year. As Switzer races in motion, Engelhardt takes it himself and is dragged down by Dallas Brown after a 4-yard pickup. So Ty Engelhardt getting the start today. Colin Hurst, who has been the premier quarterback in the PFL this season, not available for Presbyterian. So what does this offense look like with the new signal caller out there? Engelhardt tucks it, he runs it. Engelhardt has a first down as he crosses midfield, and he's mobile. 15 carries, 73 yards entering today in the season. He's primarily been a backup throughout his career as we look at this replay. He did start early in the 2024 season before Colin Hurst overtook him as the quarterback, as he slings this out wide. And that is brought in by Jaden Scott. First pass attempt of the day for this Presbyterian offense that leads the league in scoring, yards per game, rushing yards per game, and second in passing yards per game. Second and 5 in the opening drive for the Blue Hose. Switzer finds a seam. There goes Switzer. And he is across the 30. Pickup of 15 for the shifty Zach Switzer. Second of the conference in rushing yards per game. And that's the thing about this PC offense. You take away the aerial attack, they have a dynamic 1-2 punch, and Zach Switzer and Justin Montgomery toting the rock. Productive opening drive so far for the visitors. Engelhardt flushed, tucks, And is bumped out by Jeremy Stith. Pickup of about a yard. Davidson defense that will be tested today. Wildcats entered today last in the nation in scoring defense, and this is their second top 10 offense that they're facing this year. Took on Tennessee Tech earlier in the season. Doing so again today against Presbyterian, though. The PC squad without its offensive star in Colin Hurst. And that pass incomplete. Jalen Patrick, the intended target. And it's 3rd down and 10. An opportunity for Davidson to at least force either a field goal or 4th down attempt. You look at the kicker, Jet Jackson, his season log is 38. Kick from this distance would be 46. Antonio Wright, the running back. Engelhardt, pressured. Engelhardt escapes and then goes down. Jeremy Stith. Big stop by the freshman defensive end who Saj Thakara said glowing remarks about. Engelhardt, such a shifty QB, and Stith did just enough to take him to the turf. And that sets up a Presbyterian 4th down attempt. PC 7-11 on 4th down this season. Davidson has allowed 44% on 4th down this year. Engelhardt steps up, floats it incomplete. BJ Atkins, the target man, and Davidson's defense comes up with a big stop on the opening drive of the game. A defense that has shown signs of improvement comes up with a big stop after Presbyterian's promising drive fizzles out. Take a look at it. You can see Atkins, the target man. That ball floated just out of his reach. And Davidson's offense heads out there for the first time today. Last 2 weeks certainly better for this Davidson offense as Hoyt comes in motion. It's Mason Sharon. Drags his way for about 3. Michael Torres with the tackle. You look back at these last couple of games for Davidson. San Diego a couple of weeks ago, that was a 28-28 game before San Diego scored the final 12 of that matchup. And then last week, Davidson was a 4th down stop away from winning at Morehead State. And this offense has gone about it in 2 different ways. 2 weeks ago, the passing attack was clicking. Last week, the rushing attack was on fire to the tune of 235 yards. Cleland rolls. Cleland goes down at the line of scrimmage. Michael Torres, another tackle. That's his 50th stop of the season. And it's 3rd and 6. Cleland facing some pressure, and he had some struggles last week. Really one of the worst games of his college career. 9 of 24, a season low 81 yards through the air. 2 picks. He did have 57 rushing yards against a Morehead State defense that was man-heavy defensively. Cleland floats it, looking for Frazier, and it's just out of his reach. So the Wildcats will send out the punting unit. Frazier, a little bit of contact with Zeb Strop in coverage, but not enough to warrant a flag, and Davidson goes 3 now. Grayson Palmer on to punt this away. The dangerous Dariel Harper back deep. That is a booming punt. Here's Harper. And he's bumped out at the 26. And we will step aside. 5 minutes into this first quarter of this rivalry matchup. 23rd ranked Presbyterian and the Davidson Wildcats scoreless here in Davidson, North Carolina. the day for Presbyterian. And it's Antonio Wright who is bumped out of bounds after a 5-yard carry. Saj the Car leads the way for Davidson. First season in charge of this Wildcats program. And he said his team's mindset entering this game is, look, we are hungry for a win. They feel they're 3 fourth quarters away from having 3 conference wins. That's just a fact. He said it's not fun being 1-8, but they know how close they are, and feels outside of Tennessee Tech, this is the most talented team they're playing this season. As Engelhardt skips it, and it's 3rd down. Saj the Car really liked his defensive improvement last week. Felt his guys are playing with more confidence, getting more hats to the football, which is something they focused on throughout the season. Can they force another punt? Another stop, I should say, as Engelhardt now just 1 of 4. Presbyterian navigating this game without its star quarterback Colin Hurst. 3rd down, Engelhardt floats it, knocked away and intercepted. Hayden Bender, weight room strength for the INT. It's his first interception, and he just ripped it away from B.J. Atkins. That's a 50-50 ball that Bender picks off. And the junior who joined this program on an ROTC scholarship is actually a former wide receiver back in high school before moving to defense later in his high school days. And he comes up with his first interception of the day. Here's Sharon, finds a hole, and Sharon stutters for 8 yards. The Davidson defense that had only forced 1 turnover in its prior 3 games. Able to turn over this Presbyterian side with the backup QB Engelhardt in there. One more look at it. Fantastic play, and a great job by our camera crew as well getting a shot of that. On 2nd down, a scoreless first quarter. Cleland fakes. Cleland rolls. And a flag comes in late. There's a flag on the play. Jeff Page leads our officiating crew today.
Holding, 51 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Play the down.
So Tom Luther, the right tackle, the culprit. That'll back things up. And watch 51 for Davidson. And that makes it 2nd down and 13. Davidson try to capitalize after forcing that turnover. Started the drive in plus territory. And they'll reset the play clock here. Davidson side trying to get off to a fast start today. They've struggled in first quarters this season. Got to change that right here. 2nd down, Sharon weaving. And a 3rd down and manageable. Couple of chunk runs for Mason Sharon on this drive, and Mari Adams remains out for Davidson, the preseason all-conference running back. So expect Sharon to carry the lion's share of the load in the backfield today. Third and 2, and you'd imagine that this is 4-down territory for Davidson. Third and 2, Cleland time, fires, and incomplete. Looking for Brody Berg. Seps dropped the coverage man, and it's 4th and 2. And we talked all about Presbyterian's impressive offense, but they also have the top defense in the conference. Top 10 nationally in scoring defense, third down defense, turnovers forced. Tough squad to break down. They only allow 16 points per game. Davidson will go for it. 39% on fourth down this season. Cleland to the air. It's brought in by Sharon, and that is enough for a Wildcat first down. First completion of the day for Coulter Cleland, and it moves the chains. How about this balance by Sharon? A low throw. That's a running back making that catch, folks. Davidson inside the red zone. They were 4 for 4 in the red zone against Morehead State last week. A game in which Davidson led 24-13 with 11 minutes left. Sharon again. This time ripped down by Christian Ohagwu. Senior defensive tackle, first-year starter for PC. That's a story of this defense. They are so good, but they're also fairly new. Had to replace 6 starters from last year on the defensive side of the football. And they've only gotten better under fourth-year DC Dan Owen. Cleland looking, rolls, Cleland's flattened. Next to nothing.
Michael Torres and Malik Lewis on the stop. No gain on the play, third down and 10.
And Cleland has had some time, but good coverage in the secondary. He's only completed 1 pass today for 4 yards. Third and 10. Davidson 35% on third downs against the premier third down defense in the conference. Cleland scans. Cleland has an open man. Langston Green rumbles to the end zone. 19 yards. And one win Davidson leads 23rd ranked Presbyterian. A touchdown catch in back-to-back games for Langston Green and Davidson's. As Christo Zoumakis comes on for the tip in the snapper, Benoit puts it down, and it's 7-0. Davidson leads in the first quarter. How about that? Defense with the INT, and then Coulter Cleland linking up with this big tight end. Langston Green had plenty of green to work with as he makes his way to the end zone. 7-0 Cats, 5:29 to go in the first. strikes first against 23rd ranked Presbyterian. Entering today, the Wildcats have been outscored 107-13 in the first quarter of games this year. But getting off to a fast start against one of the top teams in the nation, as Umakis keeps it nice and short. And a fair catch was signaled. So here comes Presbyterian for its third drive, and it's Ty Engelhardt who remains the quarterback. In case you're just joining us, Colin Hurst unavailable. We were made aware just before kickoff that the top quarterback in the PFL would not be playing in this afternoon's matchup. Instead, it's Ty Engelhardt, the son of head coach Steve Engelhardt. Ty is just 1 for 5, 5 yards and an interception. PC still in the hunt for the conference title despite that loss to Dayton, but they have to win out and need Drake to lose. They got to take care of business here against Davidson. Montgomery carries for a gain of 4, and a helmet came off.
Justin Montgomery on the carry.
And that's Oscar Cologne, so he'll have to exit for a play. Caleb Ferschke replaces him. That's at right tackle. Cologne, former Gardner-Webb offensive lineman, now in his first season at Presbyterian. And Saj the car will take a timeout. Nakoma Scott was late running
Timeout, Davidson.
on the field.
The first of the half, 30-second timeout.
Saj the car elects to take a timeout. We will join him. 5:02 to go in the first. How about this? Davidson leads Presbyterian 7-0. It's a rivalry matchup. You never know what's going to happen. Back after this.
Basketball season is here, and the Wildcats will use
Davidson timeout. 7-0 Wildcats in front. Final portion of this opening quarter. Ty Engelhardt leads this offense. Presbyterian had that promising opening drive, stalled right around the Davidson red zone. And then last drive ended in an interception. Davidson capitalized with a touchdown. Engelhardt steps up and runs and goes down. It's minimal yardage, and it's 3rd down and 4. Jaden Gist with the stop for Davidson. Presbyterian 0 for 2 on 3rd downs today. And this is an area where, if you're Davidson, you got to be aware of Engelhardt's ability to run. We've seen it today. 6 carries for the quarterback. Third and 2. Switzer, oh, it's a flea flicker. Engelhardt just throws it away. Davidson unfazed. And it's 4th down. Will we see intentional grounding? Let's see, he's in the pocket. I didn't see anybody in the vicinity, and the officials chatting. So Presbyterian, they love those trick plays, by the way. Can score in a multitude of ways. Trying to open
Intentional grounding. 3 of the offense. The penalty will be at the spot. Ball at the foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
So there we go. It is an intentional grounding call. And Presbyterian will punt it away. Ethan Cartmel on to send this deep. The freshman was an all-region punter back in high school. A.J. Adams back deep to receive. He has just 2 total yards on punt returns this season. He'll get a shot at this one. Adams has a hole. A.J. Adams into Presbyterian territory. This is the longest punt return of the season for Davidson. A.J. Adams starts another drive for Davidson in plus territory. Again, this is a Davidson team that entering today outscored in first quarters, 107-13. Saj the Card, his coaching staff have been working hard to get this team to have faster starts. And that's been the case today. Can this team jump out to a 2-score edge against 23rd ranked Presbyterian? Sharon weaves and picks up 5. So Davidson leading 7-0, and this is the first time that Davidson has led against a ranked opponent since the 2021 game against San Diego. At one of those many classic battles that the Wildcats have had against the Toreros. Second down, tunnel screen. Hoyt still goes, and he has a first down. Ivan Hoyt, one of the premier receivers in the conference, moves the chains. And look at this balance. Little tunnel screen, bounces off of one, just keeps on churning. And what a season it's been for Ivan Hoyt. Second of the conference in receiving yards per game. This is a guy who missed the majority of the offseason. He was injured in the spring. He plays for the Davidson baseball team as well. He's been a star in the fall. Sharon bounces to the edge. Mason Sharon turns and speeds. 19 yards for Mason Sharon. And this offense clicking on all cylinders. .47 rushing yards for Sharon in this first quarter. He averages 40 yards per game. Andrew Frazier heads in at Wildcat quarterback. It's a gift to Sharon. Bounces to the edge, turns the corner, and goes down. He's close to the first down marker. Will Farrell brings him down. Not that Will Farrell. Second down and a yard. Saj the Car is winless against D1 opposition. What an opportunity he has right here to take a 2-score lead late in the first. Wildcats in the Wildcat again with Frazier. Hoyt in motion. Sharon up the gut, barrels close to the line to gain. Sepstrop met him. Boyce Bankhead also, that stop, leading tackler on this team. Anxious energy from this Presbyterian side in a position that they really haven't been in very frequently this season. Just one loss in the year. It's Sharon. Patiently shoves his way forward. Gets down to the 2. And it's 3rd and goal. I'd imagine this is 4 down territory for Davidson. You don't beat a team like Presbyterian kicking field goals. Cats work quickly. Sharon up the gut, stood up. Presbyterian stands tall, Robert Porter. And it's 4th and 3. Saj the car will go for it. The 34-year-old head coach rolling the dice. Davidson on the doorstep of a 2-score edge against nationally ranked Presbyterian. 4th and goal. Cleland. Sharon open! Touchdown! No one near him. And Davidson leads the 23rd ranked team by 2 scores. Coulter Cleland. That's as easy of a touchdown throw as he will ever have. In fact, I'd say both of these touchdown passes that he's had have been to wide open targets. I don't know how many of you had this on your bingo card, but if you did, you're brilliant. 14-0 Davidson in this first quarter. And Sharon just unmarked, a complete miscommunication defensively by this Presbyterian defense that only allows 16 points a game. They've conceded 14 points already in this first quarter. And the Wildcats, who have never lost the Battle of the 1919 Cup since it was established in 2021, lead it by 14. And they've played complimentary football today. The interception, then the touchdown. Last drive, defense gets the stop. The big punt return by Adams, and then the offense capitalizes. That's something we have not seen from Davidson this season. Complimentary football. Zumakis keeps it short. Once again, this one is brought back to the 34. Final ticks of this first quarter. And Presbyterian down by 2 scores. A backup quarterback in Ty Engelhardt leads the troops. And this is a team that has not only a shot at a conference title, but I'd say a shot at a at-large bid, given the out-of-conference wins that they've had. But a loss today would negate either one of those possibilities. Presbyterian down by 2 scores against 1-win Davidson. Engelhardt steps up. Engelhardt, oh, a big hit. Hunter Brooks lays the boom. It is a first down, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. Well, they always say when it comes to rivalries,
that's the end of the first quarter.
Out the window. And that age-old adage stands true on this Saturday afternoon in Davidson, North Carolina. The Wildcats, a 2-score lead through the first quarter over 23rd ranked Presbyterian. We'll have quarter number 2 for you after this. An improbable first quarter of football, and Davidson's defense set the tone. Hayden Bender ripping away that ball for the INT. Then Coulter Cleland with not one but 2 touchdown passes to wide open targets. First time it's Langston Green. And then on 4th and goal, Mason Sharon just unmarked. And it's 14-0. 1-8 Davidson leads 8-1 Presbyterian. The Blue Hose 8-1 for just the 4th time ever. They've been ranked for 6 straight weeks. And there's Ty Engelhardt, who has to orchestrate a rally. PC needs something here. Backup quarterback getting the start today. Colin Hurst, a scratch before kickoff. Play fake from Engelhardt. Has all day. Fires to Kibbe, incomplete.
Pass incomplete. Second down.
Presbyterian not only down Colin Hurst today, but electric wide receiver Sincere Gill is still out. He's missed the last couple of weeks. So Dominic Kibbe, who is one of the all-time great, really statistically the all-time great wide receiver in program history, certainly the #1 guy, but that ball was behind him. Engelhardt steps up and scrambles. And he's ripped down by Hunter Brooks. Brings up another 3rd down. Presbyterian 0 for 3 on 3rd downs.
Third down and 3.
This is a different looking Davidson defense today. Yes, against a backup quarterback, but they're still wrapping up, which is an issue we've seen. They're getting hats to the football. Turnovers. Switzer in motion. Engelhardt takes it. Micah Kent meets him and stands him up. That should be enough for a first down, and it is. This has been the PC offense today. Engelhardt with his legs. 10 carries. So first down here. Engelhardt. 9 carries. 10 carries. Switzer motions. It's Levicki, one of the top tight ends in the nation, as a first down. A flag comes out, and this might be coming back.
Nathan Levicki on the reception. There is a flag on the play.
Holding, #2 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
And that backs things up and negates the longest passing play of the game for Presbyterian. Let's see, watch #2. There it is.
That's a penalty. First and 17.
I think they actually got the wrong guy. It looked like it was Devarius Abercrombie, #9, who committed that penalty. Either way, backs things up. First down and very long. Here's Patrick. Speeds. There he goes. And he stumbles as Njaku did just enough to trip him up. And a first down, gain of 20.
Jalen Patrick on the reception. Tripped up by Jeremy Stiff. First down, Presbyterian.
Engelhardt with that little swing pass, and we just have not seen the vertical passing game be successful whatsoever today for Presbyterian. It's been Engelhardt with his legs and keeping it short. Saj the Cars Wildcats, a 2-score lead. Whipped out to Abercrombie. And he goes down. Ball comes out. Davidson has it.
Ruling on the field is a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense. First down, Davidson.
First half. And Devarius Abercrombie got hit hard by Cam Jackson. Watch 45 come in and just pop him. Boom. Ball comes out on the deck. And Dallas Brown the recovery. And Davidson, who had forced just one turnover over the last 3 games. 2 turnovers forced in this first half. Well, this will be coming back.
False start, 72 the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first.
Liam Turner called for the false start. So Davidson an opportunity to take a 3-score lead against the 23rd ranked team in the nation. You look at the history of this series, especially in recent years. Davidson has dominated Presbyterian, but all signs indicated this year being a bit different. Davidson's had other ideas as Frazier follows his blockers and Horlback takes him down. 5-yard pickup. That's a wrinkle that Davidson has utilized quite a bit this season. Last week against Morehead State, Frazier had a season-high 53 rushing yards. We saw him last year play quarterback out of necessity for Davidson. He had a career-high 159 passing yards and 51 rushing yards against Presbyterian last season. 3 touchdowns as well in that game. Cleveland back at QB. Give to the local product and Will Jones. 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Cats. Horlback with the stop. He's a name to know. 1 sack away from tying Presbyterian's D1 era career sack record of 13. Certainly a guy to watch. Number 6, bottom of your screen, elite pass rusher. And flags fly.
False start, 74 the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Tyler Herring called for the first start, the all-conference ranked guard. And a game that had been moving along quite flawlessly for Davidson. A couple of false starts in this drive. So 3rd down and 11 for the Wildcats, who are 1 of 4 on 3rd downs today. Against the top 3rd down defense in the conference. Cleveland, flag comes in. Cleveland runs it, and he's shoved out. This one might be coming back.
There's a flag on the play.
Holding, 51 the offense. Penalty does decline. Down.
So it will be 4th down for Davidson. The offense is still out.
Ball's up here.
The punt unit will make its way on the field.
Here we go.
Grayson Palmer had a 55-yard punt earlier in this game. That was the longest punt of his career. Blue Hose show pressure. Another good kick by Palmer. Harper the take back. The electric freshman is drilled. And that will bring us to immediate timeout. Davidson maintains a 2-score advantage. 10 minutes left in this first half. Presbyterian needs something quickly. Offense heading back out there after this. What a beautiful November afternoon it is in Davidson, North Carolina. We are happy to have you in. And plus, John Gross, Mark Covert. Davidson a 14-0 lead over 23rd ranked Presbyterian. Blue Hose in the midst of a historic season, but things in jeopardy as Montgomery is twisted to the turf by Robert Lamar. Mark, this is a result that I don't think many people outside of the Davidson locker room expected at this point of this matchup.
Certainly not. I mean, there's a lot of people in the stands today that didn't really think that maybe this was a possibility. And yet here we are, 14-0 lead, couple of turnovers forced. It has been the perfect start for this Wildcats team.
Presbyterian having to play from behind with their backup quarterback, Ty Engelhardt, as he gives to Montgomery, who stays on his feet. Justin Montgomery. And Coach Engelhardt told us Montgomery's a ground and pound kind of guy, and he shows us right there.
Yeah, and for Jameer Davis, if he doesn't make that tackle, Montgomery's gone. That is a house call, 100%. But breaks through, find the balance there, weaving through those blocks, and able to get to the second level and break off a big chunk of yards.
Max Switzer now the running back. On first down, it is Switzer. He makes his way for about 5 yards.
The vertical passing game has not been there just yet so far today, John. So what do they have to do? Run the football. And right now on this drive, they have taken over. That offensive line is moving lines backwards. They can continue to do that. They're going to continue to churn out those yards and find themselves their first touchdown of the day.
And this is the first drive we're seeing a heavy dose of running backs running the football. It's Switzer again who has a head of steam, and he has a first down. We saw Engelhardt 9 carries earlier in this game, but now it's the running backs getting involved.
And that's the traditional way you want to do it. Obviously, they want to put the football in the air, and with Hurst not there, that changes. Even with Engelhardt in there, they've got to do something a little differently with their offense without the main signal caller in. Right now, it's running the ball.
Switzer goes down after 5, and they're staying on schedule in this drive.
Yeah, and then, again, if you're going to run the football, you've got to stay on time, got to stay on schedule. As long as they can continue to do that, they're going to do themselves a lot of good.
Davidson,
wants the
second time out of the half.
Second time out
30 seconds.
Taken in this half. And we will step aside as well. 14-0 Davidson leads for the Blue Hose of Presbyterian. Driving.
And be sure to tune in each week to the Coaches Corner with Sauce Picard.
Out of the Davidson timeout. Presbyterian driving. We saw the Blue Hose get to this part of the field in the first quarter. That drive ended on 4th down. 2nd and 6 for Ty Engelhardt in this Blue Hose offense, trailing by 2 scores. It's Montgomery who bursts ahead. There he goes, down to the 5-yard line. pick up a 20. They'll actually spot him at the 18-yard gain.
Common case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right now, running the football, this Blue Hose offense is doing it effectively, efficiently, and with some explosion. Don't go to the air. If it's working and this Davidson defense can't stop you, continue to go back to that well until they find a way to slow you down.
Well, no Colin Hurst today, but this run game still leads the conference in rushing yards per game. Montgomery and Switzer balling out in this drive as Engelhardt keeps it in the option. A foot race to the edge. And he's in. Touchdown, Ty Engelhardt.
Just continues to push that ball to the sideline, and a lot of times that's not what you want offensively. In this case, you're in a one-on-one spot. You keep just chipping off inch by inch on that run, and from there, all you got to do is get enough past the defender to reach the ball across. Really nice job that time by Ty Engelhardt to stretch the ball out and find the end zone.
That's 6'4", 205, using every inch of that frame to clear the goal line as Jet Jackson puts up the point after and missed it. He missed 2 extra points last matchup, and he does once here. And we will step aside. Immediate timeout. Midway through this second quarter, Davidson still leads it by 8. PFL action on this beautiful Saturday in Davidson, North Carolina.
And Gallery 18 to give your gift to the Gridiron Club.
Back here at Davidson College Stadium, a rivalry matchup that dates back to 1919. Davidson and Presbyterian, they play annually for the battle for the 1919 Cup, the Carolina Border Clash, it's called. And Davidson has been dominant lately. Nobody on this Presbyterian roster has ever defeated the Wildcats. And they have work to do to change that today as A.J. Adams takes it and goes down inside the 20. Good kick coverage. And here comes this Davidson offense. And Mark, we've seen Davidson find the end zone twice, but both of those times from plus territory.
Correct. And now you got to look to drive the field here. And where's the production going to come from? Coulter Cleland, pretty solid start to the game overall, has made some really timely passes down the field. Good job managing. But this has to feel like one of those drives where he has to take over a little bit, push the ball, find guys through the air, and get something going offensively.
Cleveland 4 of 6, 36 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cleveland slings it, links up with Hoyt, who breaks his way for first down yardage. That's been the money connection all season for the Cats.
Sure has, and if you know it works, keep going back to it. Again, one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is the Wildcats version of it. Get it out to Ivan Hoyt. He has been a breakout sensation out wide for the Wildcats. Really does a little bit of everything, able to work the middle of the field, get the screen passes, the quick passing game as you saw there. Just a complete receiver on the edge.
First down pickup On the ground this time with Sharon, who burrows his way for about 6 yards. Davidson staying on schedule.
Just chipping away. Right now, it doesn't have to always be the massive, explosive play. Right now, as long as you're getting yards and you're getting past that line of scrimmage on every play, you're doing your job.
It is remarkable how different this offense looks now compared to what we saw earlier this season. It's night and day from the Cats.
And it's been simpler play calling, and a lot of it's just gone back to what has worked for us. Instead of going with everything you have in the book, dumb it down, bring it back to earth, and see what your guys do well.
Cleland keeps it himself, and he spins towards the first down. He's a yard shy, and it's 3rd down and 1.
So case in point right there, one of those simpler concepts has been back to the RPO. Utilizing that more, getting them back to, again, the personnel that you have. Coulter Cleland can run. Allow him to use his legs if he can, but also give him the ability to survey the field and see if he can get a pass out to one of these wide receivers, Hoyt and the others, Frazier along the edge, and allow them to go make plays.
Let's not forget, up until this season, Coulter Cleland was a quarterback in an option offense, so he's an athlete. It's 3rd down and a yard for the Cats. 1 for 5 and 3rd down today. And Saj the Car will use his final timeout of this
Davidson.
first half.
30-second timeout.
Mason Sharon kind of down. 3rd and 1, give it to your big veteran back, let him go to work. But his alignment was to the left of the quarterback, and a lot of times that dictates that he's going to take a handoff to the right. That Presbyterian defense was stacked on the right side of that offensive line. So probably a good decision there by Saj the Car to call that one, get a timeout, and get his guys huddled back up.
Davidson, this 8-point edge midway through this second quarter. Davidson 1-8 on the season, but you look at these last couple of weeks. San Diego tied heading into the 4th. Last week leading early in the 4th. There's been progress under first-year head coach Saj the Car, and this would be the pinnacle of that.
And so many times when you come into these situations, first-year coach, young roster, a lot of guys that aren't familiar with each other, there's certain problems that are commonplace. One of those ends up being finishing in the 4th quarter, whether you're close or you have the lead. Davidson has been there in several games this year. They just haven't sealed the deal.
On 3rd down, Sharon breaks one. Did he get it? No. Caleb Francis trips him up. And decision time for Saj the Car.
Ordinarily, you'd say, well, you're not in plus territory. You don't go for it here, but given what they've done and what they know is at stake, you're 1-8. You're facing an 8-1 team, nationally ranked team that has not beaten you in several years. You got to think you're going to get it.
Offense stays out there. Davidson 2 for 2 on 4th down, straight ahead. Ball comes out. Presbyterian has it. The Blue Hose with a much-needed stop.
Well, certainly seemed like Mason Sharon had the yardage to pick up the first down, but you've got to remember on every
The offense recovered by the defense. 1st down, Presbyterian.
You've got to hang on to the football. And when you're in these short yardage situations, guys are going to be punching to get it out. It is clearly out there right in the middle of your screen. And this defense of Presbyterian, bend but don't break. They force the fumble and get it right back to their offense.
Presbyterian 7th nationally in turnovers forced. That is the 7th fumble that they've recovered this season. Now 18 turnovers forced by one of the nation's top defenses. And a chance for PC to tie things up late in this first half.
Boy, what a momentum turner. You get the touchdown on the last drive, and now another opportunity here.
Antonio Wright on 1st down. Ripped down by Micah Kent. Great to see Kent back out there, a senior leader on this team. He's persevered through injuries throughout his career, and they're thrilled to have some experience on this young defense.
Yeah, they are. All that experience is so important, especially now. Normal circumstances, of course, it's important. But for a defense that is being overhauled, a ton of new guys at the start of the season, that leadership has got to shine through.
Engelhardt. Time. Floats. Has Levicki. Knocked away. Incomplete. And Njoku could not haul it in.
Pass incomplete. 3rd down and 9.
Holy cow. I mean, you want to talk about going from one way to the other. This offense dials it up down the field, almost gets the completion, and the defensive play to play through the hands of the receiver down the field, knocks that football up in the air and almost leads to a spectacular interception. It does hit the turf, but man, what a play defensively. Your beat right there, but Gleason able to get down the field, fight through the ball. Excuse me, that was Hayden Bender making that play.
Bender was the one who had the interception earlier in the game. Former wide receiver, he has good hands out there. 3rd and 9. Here's Montgomery. Montgomery ripped down. Saj the car said he wants to see half to the football. We just saw it from Davidson's D.
Get there, hustle to the ball, swarm tackle, gang tackle, however you want to refer to it. You've got to get multiple defenders to the football, especially in the running game and especially against the back like Montgomery. If he's able to get those legs churning, get that head down, and get those shoulders upfield, he's a force. That time, Davidson stands tall and gets bodies to the ball.
Montgomery leads the conference in yards per carry. Davidson keeps him in check there. And it's 4th and 6.
So think you've got Englehart back there, has not done a great job of pushing the ball down the field just yet today.
Here he goes. Pressure comes. Englehart hit. Incomplete. Hayden Bender out of a cannon.
Great play call in that situation. Know your personnel. Just mentioned that Ty Englehart through the air has not been very good to start this game. So what do? You bring pressure, understanding he's not seeing the field well from that quarterback spot. Bring the pressure and put him under duress.
This is a different looking Davidson defense than we've seen all season.
Correct. It's a feel for the game. Sometimes it just comes down to having your guys in the right spot to allow them to go make plays. Again, when you understand that the quarterback is not seeing the field well, you make it more complicated for him by bringing pressure, getting guys into the backfield, and making it even murkier for him. That time they get home, force the incomplete pass. What a stand defensively by Davidson.
Wildcats can end this first half with a score. Final 3:18, leading by 8. As Will Jones is met by a massive humanity. So how do you handle this drive if you're Davidson?
I think you do what you were doing on the last drive before you have that fumble. Sharon had the yardage to pick up the first down on the 4th down rush that he had, but he puts the ball on the ground. This time, you eliminate that mistake and just continue to operate with what you were doing before. Run your RPO. Don't get excited. Don't stretch it out too much. Just let your guys do what they do best.
Wildcats out of timeouts. But we will have that 2-minute timeout. Cleland 5 of 7, 48 yards. Looks to throw here. Cleland steps up. Coulter Cleland into the second level. And he has a first down. 8-yard rush showing off the wheels.
Let your guys do what they do best. Sometimes it's so complicated, but sometimes so simple. Coulter Cleland, you noted earlier, John, he is an option quarterback. He can run the football. If he doesn't see what he likes, take off. And that's what he does there, breaks a tackle, gets out of bounds, first down yardage.
Looks like Davidson will take it to the 2-minute timeout. 14-6 on the doorstep of halftime. And Davidson, perhaps,
This is the 2-minute
on the doorstep
timeout.
of a monumental result. But plenty of football left to play. We'll wrap up the first half in a moment from Davidson, North Carolina. Final 2 minutes of what has been a shocking first half of football. Davidson leading 23rd ranked Presbyterian. On first down, Cleland is all day, floats it for Hoyt, almost a one-handed catch. Caleb Francis broke things up.
Well, Francis isn't there. That might have a chance to be one of the most athletic plays we've seen out of Ivan Hoyt this year. Tried to get the little pump and go. Cleland waits, and normally that's a bad omen, but because he does, it allows itself to clear up. Hoyt gets position, but man, what a play to the outside. If that's not made by Caleb Francis, we're looking at a potential big game for Davidson.
Well, Francis has been doing this for a while. The senior is an all-conference player and the all-time interception leader for Presbyterian football. Cleland will throw again. Zips it behind Frazier. Third down.
Tough spot to be in there. I think Coulter Cleland did a really nice job of evaluating the play on the fly. Wants to go out, you see a tight end come across the formation. Usually you dump it out into the flat and let him go to work with space. This time it's covered. So what does he do? He looks back across the formation, levels up, goes to Frazier, and just by position, he has to throw it a little bit behind his intended receiver.
So a third down and 10 for Davidson. No timeouts left for the Cats. Presbyterian still all 3 timeouts remaining. Sails the motion man. Cleland for Hoyt. That's brought in. He's short of the line to gain. Pickup of 7. What do you do here, 4th and 3?
Again, now you're in plus territory. They went for it back on the other side of the
Timeout. Presbyterian.
Based on what we've seen, I would assume that they're going to
30-second timeout.
Here, John.
Steve Engelhardt takes the timeout for Presbyterian. Final 95 seconds of this first half. Take a look back at this last play.
I wonder where he may have caught that football, because based on the spot, I feel like the officials brought it back a couple more yards as opposed to where Hoyt was.
Clock operator.
As it stands a 4th down and 3. Steve Engelhardt
1-3-6.
guiding things over. They're adding a second to the game clock.
Thank you.
Steve Engelhardt, his 4th season in charge of Presbyterian. What a job he's done. He took over a program that was in absolute shambles. Went 2-9 the year before he got there, won 1 game in his first season. Now in year 4, nationally ranked. And Davidson sends out the punt team. Let's see if they actually do punt it away.
Yep.
Oh, now the offense heads out there. And Presbyterian not allowed to call another timeout here. You can't call back-to-back timeouts. Cleland fakes. Cleland scrambles, throws it for Green, incomplete. How about the punt unit for Presbyterian with the stop on 4th down?
Well, smart play by Davidson. Gets this unit out there, the punt unit, knowing that Presbyterian calls that timeout. They can't call another one in a row. So you rush your offense back out there. It's a scramble drill. I think Coulter Cleland does not make the play here because he doesn't throw it out into the flat to Will Jones right there towards the top of your screen. That running back flares out. He's one-on-one with a backer or a defensive lineman. Throw it out to your guy, but he holds on to it. The pressure gets home, and the Blue Hose get away with a stop of unimaginable proportions given the unit that was on the field.
What a swing. Presbyterian a chance to tie things right before halftime.
Wow.
Huge stop by the punt unit. Switzer motions wide. Engelhardt pressured. It's a screen pass. Atkins swallowed up by Hayden Bender again. He's been a menace today.
You're trying to go for that screen pass, and that means you invite the pressure upfield, but you've got to be able to at least slow it down a little bit, because they don't. That ball actually got tipped. Fortuitous that it falls into the arms of a receiver, but what a call, what a close call for this Blue Hose offense.
Clock ticks. 2 timeouts left for Presbyterian. Engelhardt. Quick out. Abercrombie dropped it and caught it. Tip drill snag for the first down.
About the concentration for Devarius Abercrombie there. Tip drill, doesn't catch it the first time, but comes down with it the second. Hauls that one in along the sideline. Nice job keeping your eye on the ball and getting your hands to it.
Remember, no Sincere Gill, so some other receivers stepping up for Presbyterian today. Engelhardt, again a quick out. Switzer picks up 9. Versatile back, and the clock stops at 46 seconds.
Quick passing game, so important against rushing teams. Right now, Davidson has been very aggressive, bringing guys on pressure, bringing a couple extra bodies. So Presbyterian, familiar with that, gets the football out the last 2 plays quickly and on the screen before that, so make it 3 plays in a row.
Engelhardt over the middle, incomplete. Nearly picked off by Njaku Patrick, the intended receiver.
Got away with one there, trying to push the ball down the field a little bit more. And they only have those 2 timeouts left to work with, so they've got some time. But man, you can't put the ball in harm's way like that.
3rd down and a yard. Clock would stop to move the chains on a first down. Switzer straight ahead, very close as Dallas Brown brought him down, and flags fly late. Oscar Cologne's helmet came off for the 2nd time today.
Usually you're in that position. Whoever the player is that has helmet come off, he's not getting that penalty called on him. Unless his officiating crew may have heard something that caused that to take place. Probably not a great place if you are Davidson defensively.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness to the defense. 15-yard penalty will be added and forced from the dead ball spot, automatic first down.
Just not the kind of play you need to make at all, especially now within 2 minutes. Some ham fighting down the field that time.
Part of the snap.
Gives him the PI, knocks the helmet clean off. Pretty easy call for this officiating crew.
And because Cologne's helmet was ripped off by a penalty, he can stay in the game. 1st and 10. Pressure comes. A low toss, incomplete. Was deflected at the line as well.
Came out like a wounded duck, but that's because this defense gets their hands up. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up in those passing lanes, especially here late in the half. You know this offense is trying to get the football out. Just be cognizant of it. Great play along the defensive line.
All these passes have been quick from Engelhardt. Backup quarterback thrusted into a starting role today with Colin Hurst out. Engelhardt again batted down. Hayden Bender.
Made some plays here in the first half as Hayden Bender gets the knockout down the field on the last drive, and now able to come as a free rusher off the edge. And again, if you're not going to get home, get the hands in the air. He jumps up, makes the play. What a job by Hayden Bender in the flat to make the reaction and get his hands up.
He had a career-high 10 tackles last week. A career performance in terms of impact today in this first half. And it's 3rd down and 10. Switzer straight ahead. He goes down. Nakoma Scott finished off the job, and Steve Engelhardt uses his penultimate timeout.
Timeout, Presbyterian.
Kind of interesting.
Their 2nd of the half, 30-second timeout.
Now instead of just taking it to the half. Because you would assume here on 4th down, you're inside the 20. Davidson doesn't have any timeouts left to work with, so even if you miss the kick here, they still have a long way to go, but you would think they would take it down to 2 or 3 seconds in the half and just kick the field goal and let it be what it is.
Jet Jackson did miss the point after attempt earlier. He's 4 of 6 on field goals this season, a long of 38. A kick from here would be from 33, and Steve Engelhardt sends the offense back out there. Presbyterian 0 for 2 on 4th downs today.
given the down the distance and how this passing offense is done today, I don't know about this decision.
Engelhardt 7-17 through the air. Kibbe in motion. On 4th down, Engelhardt knocked away, incomplete. Hayden Bender again. And Davidson's defense comes away with a stop.
Have a half, take a bow. Mr. Bender along the back end of that defense. Look at the play here. Goes from one side back to the right, and Bender's right there, undercuts the route and breaks that one up. What a drive, what a half, not just for Hayden Bender, but this Davidson Wildcats defense. They have been sensational.
How about the awareness by Altenberg as well to lay out the receiver since the ball was tipped?
Again, once that ball's tipped, it's a live ball. You act as if anyone really in the area already has the football. Nice awareness the whole way around by that secondary of Davidson.
Well, one half in the books. I don't know how many people saw this coming. 14-6, 1-8 Davidson leads 8-1 Presbyterian, the 23rd ranked team in the nation. The PFL title hopefuls, the FCS playoff hopefuls, being pushed to the brink today at Davidson College Stadium. This rivalry matchup living up to the hype as Davidson heads into the locker rooms, a 14-6 lead. The defense has set the tone for the Cats. Coulter Cleveland has also tossed a couple of TDs. Langston Green with one of them. 14-6, Davidson leads Presbyterian at the break. There's just something about rivalries in college football. You never know what you're going to get, and this is why the games aren't decided on paper. They're decided on grass, or in this case, turf. John Gross, Mark Covert. Happy to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. Mark, Davidson, a 14-6 lead. What have been your biggest takeaways from this first half?
Well, takeaways is a great word because it has been the takeaways defensively, really on both sides of the football, but really for Davidson. The 2 first-half turnovers that they were able to create, one through the air, one on the ground via interception and fumble, and it leads to points for an offense that really needed to find itself in great field position to start. They take advantage, but it is because of the defensive efforts that they have been able to get in a good position, put the ball into the end zone.
And it's a Davidson defense that, over the course of the season, is last in all of FCS in scoring defense. They've held Presbyterian to 6. Meanwhile, the Blue Hose, that late announcement right before kickoff that standout quarterback Colin Hurst would be unavailable. Ty Engelhardt, the QB. What do you want to see from them in half number 2 to try to get this offense going beyond the 6 points they scored?
Well, where's the vertical passing game? I know that it's not Colin Hurst out there, but that all being said, you always have to have that next man up mentality, which means Ty Engelhardt has to be ready for this moment. If this were ever to come up, today it does just moments before kickoff. So I want to see where the vertical passing game is, getting these receivers involved. Again, Sincere Gill is not on the field today. So that's a massive deep threat that they don't have at their disposal. Who's going to contribute through the air at the receiver spot, and how are they going to get them the football with Engelhardt at quarterback?
Dominic Kibbe, certainly a name that comes to mind there. He does not have any catches, though, in the first half. One of the all-time great receivers in program history. 14-6, Davidson leads Presbyterian. Halftime continues after this on ESPN+.
The first contested
Halftime continues on this beautiful fall afternoon in Davidson, North Carolina. And the home faithful, they've been treated to quite the matchup so far. 14-6, upset-minded Davidson leads Presbyterian. And this Carolina Border Clash rivalry matchup. John Gross, Mark Covert will dive into some of the first half numbers. We touched on the turnovers at halftime, and you look at some of these numbers as well. Presbyterian now gaining Davidson, but they haven't finished off drives.
Again, starting in plus territory. That's what Davidson was able to do with a couple of turnovers their defense was able to force in the first half. They take advantage, get the football into the end zone. And Presbyterian's been able, as the half went on, to run the ball more. They've been able to do more. You see those 137 rushing yards, but it's the 55 passing yards. There hasn't been the balance that you would expect to see from Presbyterian with Colin Hurst out. It has changed. They've had to run the ball more, and that passing game has not been effective enough to really challenge Davidson on the back end.
One thing that jumps out to me, 16 minutes of possession for Davidson. They average only 28 per game. That is 10th out of 11 in the PFL. That's a big number for them today.
Well, and that's such a big number throughout the course of most any football game, is who holds the ball longer, statistically and analytically, is going to have a better chance to win the football game. If you are winning the time of possession battle at halftime, and especially as the game goes on, you're helping yourself out a ton. And Davidson, for such a young team that is trying to look for that first real signature win, has done a lot for themselves in the first half.
Now you look at the rushing numbers. Both teams run heavy. The aerial attack hasn't quite been there, which is interesting because obviously Presbyterian a backup quarterback, but even Davidson, they've primarily found success through the air this season. It's been the ground game today, though.
The offensive line's done a really nice job, though, of opening holes throughout that front seven of the Blue Hose, just allowing themselves to get some traction on the ground. Always helps out your passing game. So while the numbers aren't gaudy through the air like they normally would be for what this offense can do, it's been because that rushing attack has allowed them to find some balance and some much-needed consistency, especially on the early downs.
Halftime continues right here on ESPN+. 14-6, Davidson leads 23rd ranked Presbyterian from Davidson, North Carolina. We'll be back in a moment on ESPN+. Upset alert in Davidson, North Carolina. 14-6, the Wildcats on top of 23rd ranked Presbyterian. Halftime, about 5 minutes left. We'll have the second half for you in a few minutes. Stick with us on ESPN+. Saturday in Davidson, North Carolina. The Wildcats at 1-8 in the season, an 8-point lead over 23rd ranked Presbyterian, a Blue Hose squad with its sights set in a PFL title on a potential at-large berth to the FCS playoff. Would be its first ever FCS appearance. But Davidson trying to throw a wrench in those plans. An impressive first half. What are you looking to see in half number 2 between these teams, Mark?
Well, for Presbyterian, again, we talked about it in the halftime report, but that vertical passing attack, or really any consistent passing attack, has to show up here in the second half. For as well as they ran the ball in half number 1, they weren't able to get anything really going in the passing game. If that can pick up, this offense should return to the form that we are expected to see them at. And Davidson, it's just about continuing to play opportunistic and complementary football. If the defense can continue to do what it did in the first half, forcing turnovers, not allowing drives to be established by the Blue Hose offensively, and the offense taking advantage when they get those short fields, we could be talking about one of the bigger upsets of the season, not just at the FCS level, but throughout all of college football.
You look at what Presbyterian's done this season, not just winning, but dominant throughout the season. They've won 5 games by 28 or more points, including last week's game against Valparaiso, 43-14. See that fumble near the end of that first half.
And you know, the schedule being what it is, John, I think that's what's probably surprised people the most, is we've just seen an offense or a team that's really done a great job of not just winning games, but almost turning into an Indiana style and getting after opponents in a big way.
Presbyterian has been dominant this season. In uncharted territory right now, the 23rd ranked Blue Hose teeing off half number 2, down by 8 points to 1-8 Davidson in the battle for the 1919 Cup, a rivalry game of the PFL, as A.J. Adams watches the Jet Jackson kick sail into the end zone. And here comes the Davidson offense, which has yet to put together a long, sustained drive.
And think about if they can unlock that here in the second half, what that does for this entire football team. But it's got to start on this drive. Coulter Cleveland has done a good job throughout the course of this game so far of managing the offense, playing within it, and doing what he's asked. But when he has to make a play off schedule, is he able to take advantage and make that play?
Davidson seeking its first conference win of the Saj Thakar era. Also its first ranked win since 2021. Halfway home and doing that. First play of the third quarter is a Mason Sharon handoff. Picks up about 5 yards. Sharon now with 70 yards, nearly double his season average.
Certainly something that we were accustomed to seeing Mason Sharon do in years past, but in a much different offense. Today, he's turned back the clock a little bit, gotten back to running the football hard with some tenacity, and his offensive linemen have done a great job at the line of scrimmage of allowing him to get some clean lanes to run through.
Nick Rinaldi, the motion man. Again, it's Sharon who plows ahead, picks up a couple, and Sharon getting extended run today. Mari Adams, preseason All-American running back, once again unavailable for Davidson. So rather than those 2 splitting reps, he's the feature back right now.
Yes, he is. And you notice there that there was some extra guys in the package. A bigger package is something that has become a little more commonplace. Certainly in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers have done it a lot in the last several weeks, is bringing in an extra offensive lineman or 2 just to run the football, getting another body in there to mix it up and open up some lanes for their backs.
Davidson 1 of 7 on third downs. Cleland rolls. Cleland pressured. Cleland goes down. Michael Torres takes them to the turf, and Presbyterian's defense gets a stop.
Well, nice job on the back end. That's a coverage sack that time. The pressure gets there and affects Coulter Cleveland enough that he has to break outside the pocket, but see how he can't get anything? That's because the coverage stays disciplined on the back end, does not lose track of their receivers, and does not allow Coulter Cleveland to get that football out.
This elite Presbyterian defense forces a 3-and-out in the opening drive of the third quarter. And it's Brayson Palmer on to send this away. A couple of booming punts for the freshman. Another good one. But a favorable hop for Presbyterian. And the Blue Hose will start with it at the 37-yard line. And we will step aside. 14-6. Davidson leads it by 8. Presbyterian will hit the field for its first drive of half number 2. Looking to draw level on this beautiful day in Davidson, North Carolina. back here on this beautiful Saturday in Davidson, North Carolina. Presbyterian's defense forces a 3-and-out. And here comes Ty Engelhardt. Engelhardt, his first start of the season today. Colin Hurst, a late scratch. On first down, it's Justin Montgomery, who runs into a mass of humanity. And he continues to shove a rugby scrum. Look at this. Oh, my. Forget about the tush push.
Did the old lineman up here a little bit of good. Good for the heart. Play after my own heart. How about that? The shove from behind by that offensive line. Getting in there, watch. Montgomery's just going to sit there and drive, but it's the offensive lineman here just continue to push. It's a slow build right there, but they're able to get those big legs in the ground and push him forward for a first down. How about that play?
What's more fun, that or a pancake?
Oh, that. 100% that play right there. You get those yards. That's a highlight, brother.
That moves the chains. It's Montgomery again who drags Denzel Chukwuemeka. A 7-yard gain, and this is where we saw Presbyterian successful in the first half, the run game.
Yes, and as the game went along in the first half, this is where it became more and more impactful. That first drive where they got, well, really the only drive where they've gotten a touchdown in this football game was because of the rushing attack. A couple of long games by Justin Montgomery, and this rushing attack was what really got him going.
Montgomery, a breakout season for the back who leads the conference in yards per carry. He's averaging 9 yards per tote today. Here he is again. Weaves his way for a 3-yard gain and moves the chains once more.
I think it's hard to understate how important it is and how amazing it is to have a running back that's averaging over 7 yards a carry. And we are in the later stages of the year. I mean, they've played 9 games. This is number 10. So this guy in Justin Montgomery has done a great job, not just running the football effectively, but when he's had a chance to break one, he has broken them for big chunks of yards.
And you know who's number 2 in the conference in yards per carry? His fellow running back, Zach Switzer. Here's Montgomery. Continues to churn for 4 yards. So I say that to say this running back room is deep for PC.
It's not just deep, it's very good, especially at those top 2 tiers and what they can do between Switzer and Montgomery. It almost makes you want to start thinking about a certain duo in the Metro City, especially with one of them being named Montgomery.
2nd and 6 on the ground, and Robert Lamar lays the hit on Justin Montgomery, one of the few times we've seen Montgomery go down in first contact.
And it's certainly a game plan, and think about the way they both run, and it almost mirrors the way that when we have seen Mari Adams on the field, and certainly with Mason Sharon on that Davidson sideline, there's a lot of running backs that are playing in this game today or that have played throughout the course of their careers for these 2 teams that are no-nonsense runners. A lot of vertical running north and south. They don't like going east and west. They love contact, and they invite it.
3rd down and 4. Presbyterian 2 of 7 on 3rd downs, and this likely 4-down territory as well. On the ground, it's Switzer, bursts into the 2nd level. First down for Zach Switzer into the red zone.
It's so interesting. You get an offense like this that you know has balance, but without Colin Hurst out there, they've had to lean way more on the running game today than they have throughout the course of the year, and it has paid off. Even in a 3rd and about medium situation, they run the football there with great effectiveness into the secondary.
Switzer again lowers the shoulder. He is running tough, and it's 1st and goal after the 13-yard carry.
Almost the same exact play. Offensive line washes down to the left side, and by the time Switzer's at the line of scrimmage, he's on a straight line track down the field because his OL rushes everyone to the left side.
Tempo from the Blue Hose. Switzer. 3rd time's the charm. Touchdown, Presbyterian.
That is a drive, John. Steve Engelhardt has to be looking at that and thinking, my offensive line is going to be the feature piece of this entire second half. He leans on them entirely on that drive. Not a single pass put into the air, just running the football straight at this Davidson defense and straight down their throat to the tune of Zach Switzer finding his way into the end zone for the first time today.
A different kicker out there, Ethan Cartmel, who's normally the punter. Converts on the point after. Oh, some extracurriculars Caleb Ferschke getting into it with the Davidson player. Micah Kent was the Wildcat. And the officials able to break things up. We will step aside. Ground and pound, Mark Covert.
Straight up the line, straight into your living room. Switzer takes it in, and we have a 1-point game here in Davidson, North Carolina.
We have a 1-point ball game. Presbyterian electing not to go for 2. Davidson maintains this 1-point lead. What a drive it was for the Wildcats. 9 plays, 65 yards. A.J. Adams watches that clank the end zone, and here comes this Davidson offense. And Mark, this feels like a must-score drive because Zach Switzer has made it a 1-point ball game.
Especially those 5 guys along the offensive line. Switzer just leans on them. Justin Montgomery leaned on them on their first possession of the second half. And those 5 guys up front delivered in a big way.
Zach Switzer, if that name sounds familiar, it's because his grandfather is the legendary Barry Switzer, one of just 4 coaches ever to win a college national championship and an NFL championship.
Pretty great lineage to come from if you ask anyone within the football community.
Cleland steps up. Cleland popped down. Big hit. Michael Torres lays the lumber. I'll give you a second here. Any guesses on the other 3 coaches to win a, I say NFL championship purposefully?
Purposefully. Pete Carroll.
There's one.
Gosh, I'm not trying to. I can't even think of the other ones. Go ahead.
Jimmy Johnson and Paul Brown.
See, I don't know how
Not
I
a
always
Super
forget.
Bowl, but an NFL championship.
Always forget Jimmy Johnson.
2nd and 9. Here's Will Jones. Picks up 3. Jimmy Johnson, he had so much success at both places that it's almost like you forget he was at Miami. Miami was legendary in the 80s, of course.
And of course, everyone knows about the status and what he built down there in Dallas with the Cowboys. The potentially original Big 3 with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. A lot of characters on that Dallas Cowboys team for sure.
And a lot of wins. 3rd down and 5. Presbyterian shows pressure. They bring it. Cleland rolls, throws. Hoyt is popped. Flag comes out. Noah Taylor the hit.
Another play.
Hold
The defense has to hang on to the back end for an extended period of time, and they do their job getting these receivers, not allowing any of them to get open. And Coulter Cleland eventually finds Hoyt, but what a job by Noah Taylor to chop him down right as soon as he catches the football and not allow him to get yards after the catch. See it here on your replay. Taylor breaks on it perfectly, makes the sound tackle in open space.
2 drives, 2 punts for Davidson in this third quarter. Palmer gets rid of it. Here's Harper. He's bounced out of bounds by Jamal Chandler-Fuller. Here comes Presbyterian's offense, a chance to do something it has not done today, and that is take a lead.
Not since the very beginning moments of this game have they had a chance to be in that position, but that's because Davidson defensively has done its part through the course of this game. The only difference is now the offense is not generating enough. That's 2 straight 3-and-outs for them as defense comes back out onto the field after that last touchdown drive. Can't wait to see what adjustments they potentially made to put at least a slower pace to this running game.
Davidson has struggled stopping the run game this year. 121 out of 126 in FCS in rush defense. Here's Montgomery, drags his way as Altenberg knocks him down. 8-yard carry for Montgomery.
And there a steady dose. Just again, these running backs have taken over here now in the second half. The offensive line, again, gives Montgomery just enough of a crease to go through to pick up another solid gain on first down.
Presbyterian still has not thrown the football in this third quarter. 2nd and 2. Now, why would you throw it when you're running like this? Montgomery, another first down carry into plus territory.
I mean, you're just running it right now to the tune of about 7 to 8 yards a clip. And to your point, John, if they're running it that much, there's no point to throw. Davidson has not shown an ability here in the second half to stop this running game, and rightfully so. Switzer's going to come back in the game, and he's been just as effective running the football.
Switzer, 9 carries, 72 yards. Sensational performance by him. Montgomery, 12 carries, 87 yards. First down for Presbyterian. On the ground again. Switzer taken to the turf by Trey Johnson. 5-yard rush.
Just follows those blocks, continues to just chop those feet down the field. It's impressive to see these 2 running backs that have that straight line speed when everything's going well, but when they have to improvise a little bit, they've got the vision and wherewithal to also make plays happen and get some extra yards.
Ground and pound offense today without the top quarterback in the league in Colin Hurst. Bit of an adjustment from OC Jason Martin and company. It's working in half number 2. First pass attempt of the second half. Devarius Abercrombie has the first down and then some. To mark the forward progress at the 34-yard line. It's a 10-yard gain.
Certainly within college football these days, it used to be the play action was such a big part of what every offense did. It's kind of morphed into that RPO style. The defense comes down on that running attack. You get the football out pretty quick. That time they do it for the first time here in the second half. It's a great efficiency.
We'll step aside, immediate timeout as Dominic Njoku gets 10-2 for Davidson. Back here on this Saturday afternoon in Davidson, North Carolina. Presbyterian driving, searching for its first lead of the game. The 23rd ranked Blue Hose in the midst of one of the best seasons in program history. 8-1 for just the 4th time ever. Switzer straight ahead, and Jamal Chandler-Fuller takes him down. So during that last media timeout, Dominic Njaku came off the field. Somebody who has unfortunately had an injury plagued career. Had a season-ending injury in 2023. Last year, season cut short due to an injury, and he gets dinged up today as well.
It's certainly a guy who has the talent to make a lot of plays on the field. Just has not been able to stay healthy and get himself on the field as much as, of course, he would like to.
Switzer around the edge. Angled to the sideline by Quinton Cancel. And for the first time in this second half, it's 3rd down and medium for Presbyterian.
Yeah, and really nice job again staying on schedule here. You see the free blitzer come this time, but the pulling guard that time gets his head around. Really nice job by Marcelo Coleman of picking up that blitz and allowing Switzer to work his way to the outside.
3rd and 6. Engelhardt pitches, it's a fumble. Switzer's on it. Back at the 39, a 9-yard loss.
Well, you cannot have that happen on that play, not just from the quarterback spot, but up front. As much praise as we've given this offensive line, they just cut through, does the Davidson defense, and that does not give Engelhardt enough time to get that football out. He panics and tries to pitch it backwards and loses control of the football.
What a play by Micah Kent, one of the few veterans on this very young Davidson defense, and that sends the punt team out there.
And what a reversal, just driving down the field for the last drive and for the better part of this one was Presbyterian, but Davidson does a great job of standing up.
Cartmel into the end zone, and a touchback for Davidson as the Wildcat offense has yet to pick up a first down. We saw some in this second half, I should say. We saw some success from them in the first half. What do they have to do to get this offense going in the third quarter?
Where's the RPO gone? Again, simplifying the offense is good, and it served them well in the first half of keeping this defense of Presbyterian off balance. But right now, there has been no balance of the offensive side. Just trying to get something going, get the football into your receiver's hands. Hoyt is so explosive when he catches the football. Even in that short area, get him one-on-one on the edge and see what he can do with the football in his hands.
First down for the Cats. On the ground with Mason Sharon. Continues to push and push and push. Finally dragged down. Jason Briones finished off the job.
Solid 7-yard run that time. That's all effort from right there. Number 0, Mason Sharon, red and black, just continues to keep those legs driving down the field and does an excellent job of breaking through the contact and continue to drive for more yards.
Physical back, 6 foot 220, coming off of a season-high 64 yards last week. He has surpassed that this week with 80 yards. After the 7-yard carry, Sharon to the edge, flattened by Caleb Francis, and it's 3rd and 3.
Well, and that's where you want to win if you are Presbyterian. When you allow Mason Sharon and these Davidson backs to get their shoulders square and just run straight lines upfield, you're asking for trouble at that point. But if you can get them to work horizontally along the line of scrimmage, that's where you can really take advantage. A lot of them don't have that true breakaway speed and explosiveness to the outside. So if you can break them off their track, you help yourself out a ton.
Well, you just saw a shot of the 1919 Cup. It's a trophy that Presbyterian has not owned since this trophy began in 2021. It's Berg around the edge. Brody Berg has a first down. He's popped out of bounds, but it's the Wildcats' first down of this third quarter.
And Brody Berg has been one of these guys late here in the season that started to emerge a little bit more. Alongside Will Jones, these two guys have started to make a name for themselves. That time, getting to Wildcat, hand it off to Berg, and he has the quickness along the edge to get those shoulders square upfield along the sideline and pick up a first down.
Final minute of this third. Carolina border clash, battle of the 1919 Cup. Presbyterian head coach Steve Engelhardt said he told his team this is not a rivalry until both teams win it. His team's never won the trophy. They have work to do to get there as Frazier His gang tackled to the turf as we wind down in this third quarter, and Davidson won't have to snap it.
I don't know that they will. Right now, the way this game is going, lost the third quarter, lost control of it certainly up until that last stop by the defense, and now the offense picks it up, has a first down, and they are moving towards midfield. Might just take this one into the fourth quarter, up one, and see how it goes. But what an effort so far by Davidson. No one thought they'd be in this game to this point, and certainly not leading in this one, but the Wildcats have positioned themselves to make a major upset within the conference and within the FCS.
This would be one of the great upsets in
That's the end of the third
FCS
quarter.
and in all of college football this season. 1-8 Davidson, 15 minutes away from a rivalry upset win over number 23 Presbyterian. We'll have the fourth quarter for you in a moment on
Okay,
ESPN+.
I'll see you then there.
Second down and 6 to start the fourth. John Gross, Mark Covert, happy to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. It's Berg around the edge who follows Sharon for a first down, and the Wildcats move the chains again.
All right, so that's 2 times we've now seen Brody Berg carry the football on that end-around play. Takes that handoff to the outside and has worked to great effectiveness. Right there, Blue Hose committing to that rushing attack straight on, but not allowing themselves to get horizontal. Works to the benefit of this Wildcats offense.
14-13, Davidson leads it by a point. The Wildcats jumped out to a 14-0 lead, but Presbyterian has scored 13 unanswered. Pressure comes, and Cleland spikes it. He was feeling that heat in a hurry.
Yeah, but not a lot of times are you going to really celebrate an incompletion. That's a smart play by Coulter Cleland. Understanding that the play just is not there, trying to set up the screen pass back inside. Presbyterian sits on it perfectly. You just throw that one into the turf and live to play another down.
Coulter Cleland, 7 of 13 today, just 58 yards through the air. We've seen a combined 123 passing yards today. That's it. Davidson brings out an extra lineman in Nick Rinaldi. Cleland finds Sharon. Stumbles initially, but he does have the first down, a gain of 11.
Talked about the running backs for Presbyterian, and now these running backs for Davidson are starting to make some noise. Couple runs to the outside for Berg. This time the pass out to the flat to Sharon, and he finishes with authority on the back end, and he's fired up after it. These running backs today on both sides have been spectacular.
First down for the Cats. They can make it a 2-score game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Jones up the gut. O-line pushing and shoving. And it's an 8-yard carry.
It's kind of turned into a little bit of an old school football game, John. I'm loving every second of up here. These running backs are trying their best. They are getting through the hole and finishing these runs, making contact, but it's the offensive lines as well that are trying to finish these plays. We saw Presbyterian push a pile for a first down. Davidson gets a couple yards after that run has hit its point of contact with Will Jones toting the rock. I am loving the old school style here late in the season.
Old school game and a rivalry that dates back to 1919. Only fitting. Andrew Frazier, the Wildcat quarterback. Will Jones is stood up in the backfield. Carter Sidlowski, he's a menace at the end, and it's third down.
Such a sound football player is Sidlowski out on that edge spot. This time, great discipline. Playing that one, gets to the runner, and Will Jones did a nice job of playing both Frazier, once he sees the football go inside, track down Jones and stop him behind the line.
Sidlowski, one of the all-time sack leaders. Third most sacks in PC history in just 3 years, playing in Clinton, South Carolina. Big third down of the way for the Wildcats. Berg in motion. It's Will Jones, has a seam and a first down.
That's a gutsy play that time. Presbyterian, you saw it right before the play. Brings a couple of bodies close to the line of scrimmage. And that time, Will Jones still able to find a great job by that offensive line, washing it all down, communicating and fighting through those blocks. And give Jones enough space to pick up the first down.
Clock keeps ticking, under 12 minutes to go as Davidson nurses this 1-point lead. Wildcats looking for their first ranked win since 2021 and the first win of the Saj the Car era. Frazier keeps it on the option. Andrew Frazier is angled out of bounds. Zeb Strop had that well defended.
See both these teams, again, taking that old school approach right now, just running the football, working the clock, and staying within what they have done well today. Davidson surprisingly has run the ball with great efficiency today. It's been very effective, and certainly on this drive, they've done a nice job of leaning on those blockers up front to allow themselves to get those tough yards.
Davidson over 150 rushing yards, and they've done so against a Presbyterian defense that allows just 119 rushing yards a game. Last week held Valpo to -2 as Jones is twirled to the turf after minimal yardage. Malik Horlback with the stop.
And now it's decision time on third down. Do you continue to go with the running game, knowing that's what Presbyterian is likely going to be playing against? Or do you let Coulter Cleland go back there and make a play? Remember, the mobility factor for him is very real. So if he needs to take off and run, he can. But do you give him an opportunity to sit back in the pocket, survey the field here on third and long?
Davidson is 3 of 11 on third downs. Cleland will throw. Searching. Floats end zone. Had Berg. Incomplete.
And Coulter Cleland is missing that big time. And that is a gimme. He does a nice job. Initially think that he needs to get the football out into the flat to Will Jones immediately right there. Get it out to his back, but he floats it, finds Berg in the end zone and just can't get it to him. A little more touch on that football finds Berg in the end zone for a potential touchdown.
Field goal unit out for Davidson. Christos Zoumakis, the first-year Wildcat, is 2 of 3 this season. This one's from 35. Zoumakis missed it. No good.
All the work to get into plus territory. You're driving, can't find Berg in the end zone. You sell for the field goal, and it just goes wide left.
Presbyterian gets a much-needed stop. 1 point down. Football in their favor. We'll be back in a moment. Is on the line today, the 1919 Cup. It was introduced in 2021. Davidson has won it each season since the trophy was introduced. Presbyterian searching for its first win over Davidson with this crop of players. No one on this team, no one on this coaching staff has ever beaten the Wildcats. Down by 1 point with 10:08 left. Ty Engelhardt. It's a screen for Switzer. Bumped out of bounds by Trey Johnson. And the reality is for Presbyterian, yes, the trophy's on the line, but a conference title's on the line, an FCS playoff spot on the line.
Most of the times for the Blue Hose in this matchup throughout the recent history, it's been about getting the trophy for this game. But like you said, John, the conference title hopes are on the line here. Playoffs are potentially on the line here for Presbyterian.
Engelhardt keeps it. Engelhardt goes down. Micah Kent, Robert Lamar make it 3rd down and 5.
So now again, you're putting this Presbyterian offense in a situation where most of the time you would think we're going to throw the football, get in the air, work the quick passing game. But the way that they have run the ball here, especially in the second half, Davidson has to be aware of them running the football.
3rd down and 5. Davidson shows pressure. It is a handoff. Montgomery taken to the turf by Micah Kent.
That is a hellified effort by Micah Kent to survey his way, read his way through that offensive line, all the blockers, and run down Montgomery from the backside to make that stop. That is one sensational play by Micah Kent. Look here, just reaches out, able to beat the block, and finds Montgomery and hangs on and brings him down.
One of only a handful of experienced guys in this young Davidson defense. He forces a punt. Multiple flags come in. A.J. Adams tries to return it for minimal yardage. Both flags came in from right near where A.J. Adams was standing as the deep man.
Uniform infraction, kicking team, 2 number 10, I'm sorry, correction, receiving team, 2 number 10s in the formation at the snap. The penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, results in a first down.
Wow, that's one you don't see every day. So both Micah Kent and A.J. Adams were on the field for Davidson. You cannot have two players with the same number on at the same time.
Right, and that's just an awareness standpoint from this coaching staff. You've got to know that they are on the field at the same time. And not only do you give up a first down, but given the circumstances, the situation, the point in the game we're in, that is massive.
Davidson thought it had to stop. Instead, new life for Presbyterian. What a turn of events. On first down, it's Switzer, who is met and taken down by Trey Johnson, leading tackler on the season for Davidson.
But now you put this defense that gets a massive stop on third down, and you put them right back out on the field in a spot where they've got to do what they did twice in a row at this point. Find a way to stop this Blue Hose offense.
An offense that has been ground and pound throughout the game. They keep it on the ground. Switzer, again, Trey Johnson is there.
It almost looks like Davidson isn't scared by this passing attack because they are selling out right now to stop the run. They have bodies flying everywhere around the line of scrimmage trying to make a stop.
Third down and 5 for Presbyterian. Past the midway point of this fourth quarter. The Blue Hose postseason hopes rest in the balance. Play fake. Engelhardt fires incomplete. Underthrew Jaden Scott, and it's fourth down.
Had him wide open along the sideline. The play design was fantastic. You get your guy out there. Jason Martin calls this one up. The offensive coordinator of Presbyterian dials up the perfect play, and Engelhardt just cannot get it out onto the edge to Jaden Scott. That is a missed opportunity for Presbyterian.
Deja vu. It's 4th and 5 once more. This time Davidson takes Micah Kent off the field, so just one number 10 out there for the Wildcats. Cartmel. Fair catch called by A.J. Adams. And here comes the Davidson offense. But first, a break. Let's let the suspense build a little bit. 7:04 remaining. This one's shaping up to be a classic in the Carolina Border Clash. Back here at Davidson College Stadium, the Davidson Wildcats are 7:04 away from a monumental upset win. A team that is 0-5 in conference play, 1-8 on the season. Here's Mason Sharon on first down. Bounced out of bounds by Noah Taylor. A notable score update from Iowa. St. Thomas currently leads Drake by a touchdown at the 2-minute timeout. Now, in order for Presbyterian to win the conference, PC must win out and have Drake lose at least once. That would invoke the tiebreakers. So that result is going in Presbyterian's favor. Now the Blue Hose have to take care of business.
Correct. Now down one. Obviously this defense has done their job in the second half. No points allowed. But can this offense of Davidson offset them and get something going on this drive?
Up the middle. And it's 3rd down and 7.
Down the 29-yard line. Malik rollback on the tackle.
So 3rd and 6 officially for the Wildcats. What a game this has been. A rivalry. Davidson has been dominant in recent years, having beaten Presbyterian in 4 straight seasons. But a new coaching staff, young roster, especially on defense. This would be a signature result. 3rd down. Cleland floats it as Frazier open. Down to the 43-yard line.
Some explosiveness from this Davidson offense. Coulter Cleland takes the shot down the field. Nice execution up front. Cleveland gets the protection that he needs to step into that throw, and Frazier breaks it down the sideline.
Big pickup. A 28-yard gain for Davidson. 1st and 10 of the 43. Frazier now a quarterback. Gives to Berg, and Berg goes down. Boyce Bankhead. Boy, does he have a nose for the football, the standout linebacker.
There's a really nice stop in the run game that time. Does a great job feeling where the play is going to and makes the stop. What a play by this Presbyterian defense. And this front 7, so vaunted, has to come up with a stop on this drive and allow no points to get on the board and get it back to an offense that needs some time to operate with, especially with how they're running their offense right now through the ground game.
Clock keeps ticking. Davidson brings on big Nick Rinaldi. Frazier remains the Wildcat QB. Sharon up the gut. 3rd and 4.
Gutsy run that time by Mason Sharon, straight to the heart of that defense. And that's the kind of run you need. You don't get anything on 1st down, so you come back to that ground game once again, get it there, and Sharon, the senior running back, makes another play in his illustrious career here in Davidson.
One of the all-time great backs in Davidson history. Inside 340. Davidson using as much time as it can, and it looks like Saj the Car will run this down and call a timeout.
Timeout. David.
Saj the Car wants
Media
to chat
timeout.
things over. A season-defining 3rd down on the way. Coming up after this break. Well, last year, Andrew Frazier had a total of 159 passing yards 51 rushing yards against Presbyterian. Today it's been on the ground and in the receiving game.
Balanced performance. Get there and make a play, but now Davidson runs back onto the field. And potentially the play of their season coming up in this situation. 3rd and medium, you've got an 8-1 ranked opponent at home on the ropes. What does Saj Thakar and this offense have cooked up?
3rd and 4. Jones alongside Cleveland. Presbyterian brings the blitz. Flipped out to Jones. Incomplete.
It's a really nice job defensively. You bring the pressure off the left side, knowing that Davidson is going to try to go back to the right, and you have your defense positioned on that side, expecting that to happen. Even if Will Johnson catches this football, there's 2 different defenders there for Presbyterian to make that play. Really great schematical call along the defense by defensive coordinator Dan Owen.
Well, little hesitation from Saj Thakar. The punt team is out there for Davidson. Grayson Palmer, the freshman, will send this away to another freshman in Dariel Harper. Great punt. And a fortuitous hop for Davidson. Hudson Altenberg downs it at the 8-yard line. And Presbyterian's season comes down to this drive.
92 yards from the end zone, that is. Now, it's worth noting the kicking game on both sides of this field today have not been very good. Missed field goal, missed PAT. So preferably for Presbyterian, you want to get this football into the end zone. You've got 3 minutes to work with, plus the 2-minute timeout as well.
They still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. For reference, Jet Jackson, the kicker, he is 4 for 6 this season, as long as 38. So that means they'd have to get the ball to the 21-yard line. Backed up at the 8, Ty Engelhart, the son of head coach Steve Engelhart, thrusted into the starting spot today. Presbyterian's dream season on the line. Engelhart keeps it on 1st down. Oh, an underhand shuffle. Atkins goes down at the 16. A flag comes in.
And I wonder if Ty Engelhart was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that football, or rather just underhand the ball. It did go forward from where he was. It was very close to the line of scrimmage when he pitched that football out to the edge.
Forward pass, number 3 of the offense. The penalty is 5 yards from the spot of the foul, loss of down, 2nd down.
Wow, backs things up inside the 5-yard line. Here's a look at it.
See where he is? He's right there along the line of scrimmage, and he's at the 9-yard line. When he pitches that football, he's at the 9. The line of scrimmage was at the 8. So very clearly past the line of scrimmage. Nice call by his officiating crew, but more importantly, not just the yardage you lose there, but the down counts. So you lose that, now you're at 2nd down.
2nd and 14. Ty Engelhart just 9 of 21. Montgomery finds a seam, and he's dragged down by Lamar. Oh, there was a lot of green in front of him. It's 3rd down.
It seemed like he was going to break one there, but Davidson had enough bodies flying to the football. And you're trying to track him down right now. Again, they are not afraid of this passing attack from Presbyterian. They're selling out to stop the run and daring Engelhart to take to the air and throw the football down the field.
Here we go. College football at its best. Rivalry. Ball game on the line. Engelhart fires. Sails. Intercepted. Dominic Njoku. One of the lone veterans on this Davidson defense comes up with the biggest play of this season for the Wildcats.
Sometimes they tell you the best ability is availability, and Jaku just has not been able to stay on the field throughout the course of his career. But arguably the biggest moment of his career takes place, an interception in plus territory, forcing the ball down the field as Engelhardt trying to make a play. And this Davidson defense, for the third time today, makes Presbyterian pay.
2:13 left, so we have the 2-minute timeout, and Presbyterian has 3 timeouts remaining. This one far from over. Frazier dives ahead. Steve Engelhardt will use his first timeout.
Now you start playing the time game. If you're here, you got to start using those timeouts. And defensively, Presbyterian needs to come up with a stop.
Timeout. Presbyterian. Push to the half. 30-second timeout.
Have to find a way to get a stop on this drive before Davidson gets past that first down marker.
And you start to do some math. Davidson, if they get that first down to the next play, clock would stop at 2 minutes. And then you're talking maybe about a minute or so that Presbyterian would, at best, have with the football back in there. Less than that.
And immediately that turns into a passing game. You can't run the football anymore at that point. You're trying to get chunks of yards to get down the field and get as close as possible to that end zone. Of course, scoring would be ideal, but first you've got to get the football back. This defense has been so good here in the second half, finding ways to come up with a stop time and time again. Can they do it one more time?
Frazier remains the Wildcat QB. Handoff, Sharon stood up. 3rd and 5. And we go to the 2-minute timeout. Presbyterian's dream season is on the brinks of a heartbreaking result at Davidson. The Wildcats on the doorstep of an enormous upset win. And Dominic Njaku might just be the hero. Final 2 minutes next. What a game this has been. One for the ages. Without a question, the most contentious matchup we've seen since the battle for the 1919 Cup began in 2021. A series that dates back to 1919. First ever meeting was a scoreless matchup. This one is not quite scoreless, but it's very close. 3rd down, Frazier weaves, pushes, doesn't get there. This defensive slugfest has a new chapter. Presbyterian's defense with the stop, it's 4th down. All right, what is the decision for Saj Thakar?
Well, this is possibly the biggest decision he's had to make in his time here at Davidson College to this point. There's a couple different ways to play this. You can go for it right here. And essentially, you pick up the first down here, it's game over. That is your kill shot in this game. That being said, you can also play the position battle here. Throw your offense out there, see if you get the defense to jump, draw on offsides, pick up the first down that way. If you don't, take the delay of game, back it up 5 yards. I would punt the football here. As close as you are, I would punt the football away, and knowing what I know from what I've seen out of Presbyterian today, which has been a very ineffective passing attack.
Thank you.
I'm making them throw the football on me to get the field goal position and win this football game, or at least have the chance to do so.
The offense stays out there. Saj the car, there he is. 154 away from his first conference win. A guy who got his first coaching job by emailing over 150 colleges. Here he is, first year D1 head coach, a yard away from an upset win. Frazier, hands, first down, Brody Berg.
Would you believe 1-8 Davidson having the gall to go for it on 4th and 1 and not even right up the gut, a swing to the outside, and they give it to Brody Berg. The young comer comes on late this season and seals this one away for Davidson.
Victory formation. Presbyterian still has one timeout remaining. And Steve Engelhardt will use that third and final timeout. There he is.
Timeout. Presbyterian. 30-second timeout.
December. Had big shoes to fill. Scott Abel, who brought this program to unprecedented heights. Now at Rice. And Saj the car. His team has persevered. A 1-8 start to the season. They've come close. These last few weeks have been noticeably better. But nothing has come as close as this, and they can taste an upset win.
We've alluded to it in the broadcast already, John. So many times through the course of this season, they have been so close in the fourth quarter. They've been ahead in the fourth quarter on several occasions. They've been close in the fourth quarter in others, and they have not been able to find a way to put a game to bed. And today, in the fourth quarter, this defense has stood up, no points allowed, and this offense did enough here in the late game situations to put themselves in position to win.
Cleland falls to one knee.
Very smartly takes more time off the clock before he does.
And the clock just stopped. And the Davidson sideline is irate, understandably so. The refs are going to have to look at this.
And I'm sure they will. They have to be aware that that clock was not running.
And that's big because, well, let's see. They're going to stop it and discuss.
It is worth noting that officials do keep their own time. So in the event that any of the clocks go down in the stadium, whether it be the actual game clock or the play clock, they are keeping their own time. So they know what the accurate time should be on the field, and they should get this adjusted properly.
Jeff Page leads our officiating crew. There was no reason for the clock to stop. Presbyterian out of timeouts. Cleveland simply fell to a knee. Take a look at it.
Coulter Cleveland, very savvy move by the veteran quarterback here. Stays up, does not go down immediately, doesn't feel rushed from Presbyterian. So until they come to him, he stays up. Burns a couple more seconds, very valuable seconds on the clock at that.
Davidson 59 seconds away from the shocking result. Presbyterian, this dream season in the hunt for a conference title. Let's listen in to Jeff Page.
The game, 13 seconds.
Still waiting to hear what Jeff Page said. His mic was going in and out.
Seconds back.
He will add more
Play
time.
clock is fine. 1:13 on the game clock.
on the game clock.
Thank you. Both clocks will start on my ready.
Saj the car wants an explanation.
I'm trying to figure out why. I guess the play clock isn't going back as much as it should, because then you're still burning off more seconds beyond that.
Right. After that kneel down, it should reset to 40.
Instead of 25.
Exactly.
Because that is when the clock initially had stopped. So you see there, it's at 40 seconds.
So Saj the car chatting with Jeff Page. The drama builds. And if the clock stays as is, Davidson can take a kneel down. There's still time for Presbyterian at the back end of this.
Which then creates an entirely different situation that way. Depending on how many seconds you see there, I mean, you may just ask, in that situation on 4th down, you may ask Coulter Cleveland, depending on how many seconds are left, take the shotgun snap and run backwards and burn that time.
Presbyterian, as it stands, still a glimmer of hope for this remarkable season. Regardless of what happens today, the Blue Hose deserve so much credit for this standout year. Smallest school in
Timeout,
FCS.
Davidson. They're challenged. There's one. The previous plays under front review.
So Saj the car wants to challenge this. In the PFL, coaches get 1 challenge per game to use. And this will go up to the replay booth, which is a couple booths to our left.
I guess I'm curious as to what he is challenging, because that's what I'm curious about. Because this all seems like clock issues. So, do you? This is gonna sound crazy, but can you challenge how much time is actually left on the clock? I guess.
Yeah, but we've seen it in the past. So he takes a knee at 121. And then, let's see, clock is stopped at 119. There it is. So he takes the knee at 121. There it is. Kneel down. Clock stopped at 121. It was stopped. It stopped multiple times. It should have kept running.
Correct.
And then it stopped again at 119.
And certainly started again well after he had gotten back up, but well at that.
Right.
So there's a couple different instances here where time certainly should have been running off the clock, and it just didn't.
And what I'm confused about is how this officiating crew added time. I mean, the clock
correct,
stopped. It wasn't the other way around.
Right.
And the question is, what can our replay booth muster with this look at what we just showed you? It should be 40 in the play clock as well. So it looks like they're getting close to a decision. What a game, though. What a game.
Yeah, I mean, again, the fact that we're even here at this point in the football game is a testament to not only just how fantastic of a game this is and how fantastic of a sport we get to call, but the way that Davidson has played this game today has been inspired. Because a lot of the times you get into this situation, 1-8, nothing has gone right for you on the year. The only win you have is against a Division III opponent. You come out with a performance like this, it says a lot about Coach Thakar and this staff.
After video review, the game clock will be set to 1:19, the play clock to 40 seconds, and both clocks will start on my signal.
So there we go. That's a big difference, going from 25 in the play clock to 40.
Right, and a lot of fans initially heard the 119 going back to that, and that was the problem. That's not necessarily, because you're adding 6 seconds there, but you had 15 on top of the play clock from where it was at 25 back up to 40 where it should be.
Right, and now 2 kneel downs, that's it. Clock will hit 0. 79 seconds left, 80 seconds between the two 40-second play clocks.
So here, Davidson just those 2 snaps away from, again, not one of the biggest upsets in the conference, not just one of the biggest upsets in FCS. This is one of the biggest upsets in college football in the year 2025.
Dude, they
for all intents and
out
purposes,
prior to the challenge.
For a conference championship, you come in ranked 8-1. You've done such a phenomenal job throughout the course of the year as Presbyterian of staying afloat and putting yourself in a position that realistically not a lot of people expected coming into this season. But you defied those odds, but on the road against a team that's all year long and just trying to find an identity. Davidson has worked yet again.
And the play clock just started running, and the game clock is not running. The game clock should be running. This is chaos.
You don't get it. You don't get the.
And it feels like this should be simple, no?
Yes, he took a knee. Why would the game clock not run?
He took a knee. No timeout was called. And it was only stopped. The game clock was only stopped because the officials had stopped it. So this should be a running clock simultaneously alongside the play clock.
Well, Jeff Page has some stuff to figure out. This is clear cut.
And he has every right to be beside himself right now. I mean, Saj knows that this should be a running clock. Again, simultaneously, game clock and play clock starting at the same time. Again, this feels fairly simple. I mean, it's not overcomplicated.
All right, play clock is back to 40. Now Jeff Page is going to chat with Steve Engelhardt, Presbyterian's head coach.
And again, it should be a fairly easy conversation. He took a knee. We as officials stopped the play clock. There was a review, and it will start again alongside the game clock on my signal. That's that.
All right, there we go. And a cheer from the Davidson faithful. They can taste it.
Whole lot of noise at the end of a game like this has completely slowed down the momentum of the moment. But again, Saj Thakar has been looking for that marquee win on his tenure in year one. And they're 2 snaps away from finding it.
This is Davidson's first time hosting a ranked opponent since 1941. Cleland hits the deck, and that will do it. Saj Thakar, his first win, and a grand win it was. The Gatorade bath, and boy, will that feel good. Davidson's second win of the season, and it's the Wildcats' first ranked win since 2021. The 1919 Cup remains in Davidson. An upset for the ages as 1-8 Davidson moves to 2-8 with its first ranked win since 2021. 14-13 the final.
Just phenomenal effort. So many teams come into this kind of game late in the season, lay down, just try to get in and out of the game. Davidson came in here today with a purpose, on a mission to not just compete in this football game, but came to win and retain was rightfully theirs. What an effort by Saj Thakar, his staff, and his roster. These players left it all out on the field today, and they make a statement across college football.
Athletic director Chris Clooney in the middle of the huddle next to Micah Kent, one of the captains on this team. A squad that has persevered, and a jubilant night in Davidson, North Carolina. The Wildcats win the Carolina Border Clash in upset fashion.
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable game. And now on the flip side of it, Presbyterian. How do you respond? These next couple weeks are going to be super important for them. A lot of different games, a lot of different matchups going on, of course, that could help determine their fate throughout the course of the year. But today just could not find plays on offense without Colin Hurst out there at the quarterback spot. The offense did not do nearly enough as it has throughout the course of the year to make plays and come away with a win.
Davidson wins its 5th straight game against Presbyterian. None more impressive than this one. It's a ranked win, an upset win. For reference, for context, you look at the Massey ratings. In all of FCS, Davidson is 3rd to last in FCS. This is a Presbyterian team that is ranked 23rd nationally in the coaches poll, and Davidson just beat him. An afternoon that will go down in Davidson lore, and that 1919 Cup will remain in Davidson, North Carolina. An enormous thanks to all of you for joining us today. This was college football at its finest, folks. Davidson pulls off the shocker, 14-13, as Saj Thakar and company pick up conference win number 1. Again, a huge thanks to all of you for joining us, for our entire fantastic production team. My broadcast partner, Mark Covert. I'm John Gross saying so long from a very happy Davidson, North Carolina. This has been the Pioneer Football League on ESPN+. Davidson wins it 14-13 over Presbyterian.